Newsies. Welcome home.
Appreciate it. You know how I feel this morning? I'm in control.
Scotty was just waiting for that.
I feel in control this morning.
Did you punch any walls?
I punched a wall this morning when I woke up. Just, started my day with a bang, and
What did it remind you?
I'm back. I am back. What's up?
What did it remind you?
What?
Punching the hole in the wall.
You? Punching a hole in the wall? That reminded me of that.
Scotty, it reminds you that you're in control.
Yeah, you know what? I already know I'm in control. I don't need reminders.
I think Noah and Scotty have this unspoken beef now.
I guess so. I didn't know. I had no idea there was any hate there or animosity. But hey, bud, first punch thrown.
I know Noah's gonna find out about this. And be like, no, that's not what I meant.
No.
I didn't mean it like that.
You threw the first punch,
It's
bud.
Noah.
You got ready for it. Let's do it.
Well, on today's pod, this is what is of topic. Also, I'm drinking an iced latte.
What just fell out of your mouth?
This is what is of topic.
Off topic.
I went ice this morning because
ISIS.
I went
ISIS this morning.
ISIS this morning.
Well,
Wow.
that was a strong
Okay.
choice. Let's start a Tuesday off.
I stuttered. I went iced this morning.
It's like 56 degrees out. It's not cold. It's just like, it's just a stutter this morning.
God, this is getting intense.
Great morning.
We've got so many things to talk about. We can talk about Prius drivers.
Okay.
We can talk about holiday-related stress.
Can we start with one thing? Because I think you and I both.
Sure.
Okay, we're just gonna get this one right out of the way really quick.
Talk to me.
Okay, is being homeless a choice?
First of all, not most of the time.
Because you and I just got back from LA, and
okay, this conversation is dangerous, and I'm willing to enter.
I'm going
Continue.
Because you and I both got back from LA, and the homeless problem out there is obviously
a problem.
It's a problem, and it's tragic.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I don't want to pigeonhole people, because there are some great homeless people. So nice,
100%.
so normal. So and I've met some very phenomenal homeless people. But the majority of the time when you think of a homeless person, you see a homeless person, it's somebody who looks like they're out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was thinking, obviously drugs can get you there. But is it possible that some people they aren't go-getters, and they just kind of go inside themselves, and can you become insane by just living on the street? No drugs, no
No.
No?
No, I think this. I think there's two types of people who go broke. There's people who go broke, and they use their connections in life to figure it out, to get housing, and they haven't burnt bridges, and they don't have behavioral issues that result in no one being able to take care of them or help them or give them a little push. Or there's people who are homeless. I know a lot of successful people who were homeless at one point. Mm-hmm. But when they were homeless, they lived out of their car. They lived here. They didn't join that community. Mm-hmm. And then there's people who hit rock bottom and for whatever reason have no one in their lives to take care of them. I'm not saying that's not always circumstantial, because I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But I would guess the majority of the time it's not. You've burnt bridges, you have addiction, you have problems, you've got this, you've got that. And for whatever reason, instead of living with a friend or living out of your car, maybe you don't have a car, so whatever it may be, you become a part of that actual community. And within that community I can't imagine surviving inside of that community.
True. Where
everyone does drugs. And on the contrary, we lack the perspective to understand what it really feels like to be homeless. Mm-hmm. And this coming from me, who does lack sympathy a lot of times for people who have created their own situation. But I do understand that in the homeless world, that sounded wrong. In that world, I feel people turn to drugs because what else you got?
True.
You know what I mean? And so I will never understand that, but I don't think it's a choice or not a choice. I think it's when you hit rock bottom, that's your choice. How you handle rock bottom is a choice, and then that's where the two paths differ.
Yeah.
And you could even go from rock bottom, we're human beings. Mm-hmm. We all have family, friends, we've met people, we have knowledge of the world. If you're 25 years old, 30 years old, and you hit rock bottom, you know many solutions. Mm-hmm. And there might be people who just don't want to do the solution because they're stubborn or whatever it may be, and so they go the other route.
True.
So technically, sure, it's willingly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, that's why there's types of homeless people, because there are the homeless people that beg and spend it on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen homeless people who ask for food, not money.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they sell that food and buy drugs. I don't know.
I've also met homeless people that don't want anything.
Yeah.
They just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, and they have like, honestly, just great hearts, and they just don't have anything, so they're just like, yeah, well, hope you're good. Like,
You think Prius drivers try to be shitty at driving? Or is it a choice? Or just is it a cult? Is there like a Facebook group?
it's because they can't feel their car running or hear their car running, so they just don't know what's happening, and so they're just aimlessly like, I wonder if life's real right now.
I've always wanted to buy a Prius
I
and be the dopest Prius driver ever. Like, I want to be the Prius driver that rips the fast lane at 85 and gets over for you if you pull up behind it.
I don't think it can go up to that.
I don't know. Maybe you think that's why Prius drivers hold you up?
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know what? Fuck you
I
and your
can't get there.
in your top speed ass car.
You're screaming at this person. They're like, I can't go any faster.
I also have this theory that there are political beliefs behind Prius drivers. Like that a majority of Prius drivers are of one political belief.
And they're all just like, you know what? We're not going to go to Tesla.
They're just that kind of person.
Yeah, exactly.
That just thinks that their fucking car.
And they're just like
car.
the most stubborn people. Like, it's like the same people who own cats. Like,
Let's not dive into this again.
I'm not going to dive back into it, but I mean, you're the same person, because the problem is everybody I know who has a Prius has a cat.
There's cliches in this world.
Yeah.
That hold so true.
True.
Like Prius drivers are wonderful.
Yeah.
I see a Prius. It's almost comedic to me. If you drive a Prius out there, I'm sorry, but you are a part of this problem.
I've also never known a Prius driver to have a Prius that doesn't have a dent somewhere in it
Because they've hit something.
from hitting something. Yeah.
Or they've been
Every time.
stubborn and someone's hit them in their act of them like, I'm not moving.
Exactly. Or they just don't, they literally just don't give a shit about their car, and so whatever happens to it, they're like, it's alright.
It's sustainable.
There is a Prius, there is a Prius that lives in our neighborhood.
Don't tell me he's a good driver.
A person who drives a Prius, not just a Prius, just noses around.
Like he lives in the neighborhood.
He lives in the neighborhood. Yes, exactly, same thing. But
whoa,
literally, there's something wrong with this car because he turns it on. It is the loudest sounding. I think it's got something wrong with it.
Someone probably stole his muffler.
He's
got that issue.
He put an engine in it.
He's got no catalytic converter, no muffler because someone stole it.
But dude, it is the loudest thing.
Priuses have engines, most of them.
I know that,
hybrids.
but it's this thing is has issues.
It's got issues.
It's got issues. Yes.
I've
done, yeah. Anyway.
I just really wanted to dive into that. Honestly, it was on my notes, and I was trying to read to them what was going to be on today's pod, and I just had that as one of the topics. Making a difference with something far bigger than yourself. What else we got? People that don't like holidays. Psychopaths.
That's just...
Letting go of relationships. Raising a family. Reality television. We've got options.
We've got options.
That was the same song as earlier, I think.
That
Also,
was.
hey, can you... I don't know. Calm down.
The sun's killing it this morning.
And then we're going to get into some more scenarios, because we had some scenarios last time. I do want to start with making a difference, something far bigger than yourself.
Okay.
This is the way I feel like I have to articulate this to you, because I have it written down, and you're probably misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think that there is a meat issue in the world, and that I think we should not kill animals, and that I think the meat industry is toxic, and blah, 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 blah. And so I'm not going to eat this steak. Ever. But the meat industry continues, and you've made no difference.
Yes.
Hypothetically, you are correct in your principles, that if we as a group did that, we would make a difference. That is unrealistic.
I also, before we get into this
and
topic...
that's the overlying concept for me.
Before we get into this really quick, just along with the meat thing,
Mm.
while I was in LA,
Oh boy.
I was having a conversation with a lady at a coffee shop.
Was she a vegan?
No, this lady was nice, but the
Okay.
the issue being is we were having a conversation, and I don't know how steak came up, but she was no, you know what it was? Is I was like
11 a.m. steak talk?
it was really weird, and I was like, because she was asking somebody, she was like, where should we get dinner tonight? I was telling her about Boa.
Are you sure that you were ordering coffee and then you're like, do you guys have any steak?
You know me.
11 a.m.
I'm like, listen, do you guys
10
have,
a.m.
you have like a rare ribeye back there? But no, I was like,
where do you get good steak?
She was like, where should I get good steak? I was like, there's a place called Boa Steakhouse, and I started hearing murmuring behind me, and it was these two vegans, like, oh my god, I can't believe. And then the one goes, I can't believe that you would even say that. There is a cow out there. Or I can't believe.
Wait, hold up. Where is this directed at you?
No, it was under their breath, but like they were talking. You could tell they were talking about us. He goes, I can't believe that somebody would eat like that. There's a cow out there right now that's eating grass, and he's ruining the world. And I was like,
wait, what?
Like, listen. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was kind of like, and then the other one went, explain.
two vegans being really confused.
Yeah.
Hold up.
And the other one goes, explain. And she goes, well, think about it this way. Cows are eating the grass. The grass is on the world. So technically cows are ruining the world, but we have to protect the cows. And so I was like, your argument is against grass. But like,
the cows are ruining. We are a lack of grass.
Her entire argument was, we have to protect the planet and protect the animals, but not let them eat the grass because they're ruining the planet by eating the grass.
Isn't her entire diet? Was it a her?
Is her.
Doesn't her entire diet consist of plants?
That's what I was confused about.
The thing that
because
the
lady and I then had a second where we kind of, because we didn't talk about the fact that we were being shit talked, but we had this moment of.
I think you should have jumped in that conversation.
Well, we just had this moment of looking at each other and then going like,
Did you hear that?
Like we just kind of like looked at these people and then like she kind of like nodded. I nodded. I got my latte, and then of course the two people behind me, I'll have a matcha.
Some grass.
Yeah, I was like,
I will have blended grass, please.
And so I was genuinely confused. But going back to your meat topic,
I understand matcha's not grass. By the way, I was kidding.
But that just hit me so hard. Well, like, LA was a weird trip.
LA's always
weird. LA's great, but it was a weird trip. Anyway, back to your,
No, it was just this concept of like, it's a dilemma, right? It still goes down to the same thing of like there's starving kids in Africa.
Mm-hmm. But we're not really.
But whether or not I finish my food or not, those kids they're still in that predicament.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we all don't finish our, and then if we all actually we all conjointively, that's a word, finish our food.
Mm-hmm.
There's this exact same amount of food in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a group, we've made no difference.
Yeah.
But the things that for me, it's like, and I understand that if there's a problem,
mm-hmm.
and the solution is that it's gonna take everyone,
mm-hmm.
that is the solution. There's no. It's just you have to be realistic of whether or not a group, like, if you realize that is not plausible,
yeah,
then just continue to be a part of the problem. That sounds so terrible, but it
sounds
true.
awful. But it's like what are you supposed to do? It's the same You can have that same argument with everything. It's like like we hate the fact that there's pollution in the world. We hate the fact that like
so let's all stop driving.
And then we hate the fact that there's like trash everywhere. It's like, okay, don't do anything that causes trash.
I know.
Nothing. Like, you can never throw anything else
Plastic.
away.
Yeah. Plastic, paper, everything.
Everything.
No more trees.
Nothing. You can't wipe your ass. You
Yeah.
can't do anything. Like, like it's weird because there's like, okay, if that's the problem, obviously somebody has to find the solution, and that's where like amazing people come from, is they find a solution to a problem.
Correct.
But like,
I just think the solution isn't the entire world joining in, because you can never get the entire world to join in.
No.
Like, let's look at EV cars. That's like one of the only ways that we might be able to get the entire world to join by force, because the world doesn't control production and manufacturing of vehicles, so whatever. And then the argument comes up, is EV better than gas? And there's people on both sides arguing different things, and so as a consumer, what do you really know?
Exactly.
You have to do the research yourself, and how are you going to do unbiased research? You can't go on Google, because you're just going to read articles from people on both sides, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
So, as a community, there's only certain ways to do this. Like, another thing I just thought about, paper straws. Are trees not more important than turtles? Because now if we move every single piece of cup and straw to paper, globally, Where does the paper come from? Is it sustainable? Is it recycled paper? I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying my first thought is a lot of the solutions to these big problems aren't actual solutions.
No, and it's
And people live. The problem is people live their lives based on this. It's like,
See,
are you making a difference?
the problem is it's not the fact that it's not a solution. It's the fact that the solution has another problem.
Correct.
So it's like you basically fix a problem to cause a problem.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna, and there's always gonna be somebody who hates the solutions. Like that's the issue. There's nobody's ever gonna agree on it. It's like,
No
okay,
one really ever agrees on anything.
No, and it's like
there's way too many of us.
Exactly.
Too
and-
opinionated. Speaking
Exactly.
of opinionated people, me and
Two of
Scotty
the most opinionated
sitting
people
here
you
just
are.
fucking complaining about everything. Oh hell.
2 guys and a sunrise.
Hey, trust me, we are self-reflective. We
Oh,
understand.
100%. 100%.
We are jokingly opinionated, though.
Yeah.
I'd say in the grand scheme of things, we are very open-minded people.
We're just accepting of shit. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
If you want to drive a Prius and go 70 in the slow lane, that's fine.
If you want to have a
The
cat
slow
and hate
lane?
your life,
70 in the slow lane, that's fast.
that's...
70 in the fast lane, I will happily go around you.
Yeah.
You can continue. I'm not going to get mad.
No.
I'm going to look and be like, ha, they always do that.
I'm going to be like, I can't hear you coming. You know, so...
But I can smell efficiency.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, baby. Ooh, you look like you're doing something
All
right.
right, enough ranting. Enough
Yes.
ranting. Let's provide some value.
Let's value them.
People that don't like the holidays. And instead of us saying fuck those people,
I'm not
fuck
going
those
to.
people.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna give them I'm not even gonna tell them that they're people. That's not a person.
No, I'm kidding. I think a lot of people have been burned by the holidays. And
Yeah.
I do notice around this time of year, dude, people are just mean. Like, people are just not having it. And my guess is it's family oriented from the get-go. Like, that's probably the core root of the problem is family.
Yeah.
Stresses people out. Expectations. Where are you going to be? Who's going to whose house? Why aren't you going to my house? I got you a cooler gift. I got to buy all these gifts. I don't fucking want to buy gifts.
Mhm.
Who's getting me a gift?
What are you trying to say here?
No, these are all my problems
Just
that
want a
presented in
gift.
my head. No, I hate gifts. We can go into that later.
I think it can be a lot of different things. I do believe the family thing is a big one. I think it's like the stress of the holidays and just there's so much going on, and it's people aren't very good at what I've found is people aren't good in general of like prioritizing things and
You
getting
should've
things
just ended
done.
there.
Yeah, people aren't good. People suck.
In
I'm good
general.
at it. Yeah. But no, people aren't good at prioritizing things in general, and so like when you give them 30 things to do, figuring it out is like it doesn't work, and so everybody leaves it to the last minute, and then it just stresses everybody out. Everybody's like doesn't know what's going on, and then it's just animosity. I also think there's the other end of the spectrum where, you know, maybe and I think we've talked about this before. It's something happened this time of year at some point in your life that you just connect the two pieces together. So the holidays are just like a miserable time because all it brings back is memories.
You mean like you didn't have anything and your neighbors had a bunch of stuff, so you robbed their house, and then everyone thinks that you pushed the grandpa down the stairs,
and he
but in
broke his neck.
reality...
Yeah, exactly that.
We watched Violent Night last night,
Great movie.
and that was a classic.
Yeah.
Holidays have been ruined. Oh, give them a second.
Yep.
Give the lifesavers a second.
Come on through.
It's all about them.
Yeah. Who are you guys? We have people here. Where are you coming from?
If it's the police, I'm
This
gonna
is
be
a different
surprised.
station.
Oh, we live at a fire station. We
Yeah.
live inside of a fire station.
They turn off, they pull in. Where's
Honestly,
going on?
I am gonna go over there one day, and I am gonna make friends with them.
We should. We should bring them cookies.
And they're gonna text me and be like, "Hey, you want to come lift?" And be like, "Yeah."
We should bring them cookies.
Firemen like cookies.
We should see if they want to be on the podcast.
He gets up in the middle of the podcast. Gotta go. He sprints. He just jumps over.
Yeah.
Where did he just go? But he's like over there already.
Doug?
There was a pole.
Yeah. Like, where do you find that?
Or they-
He brought it with him.
One of his boys, as soon as the siren came up, they ran up. They dropped a ladder on the wall, and he just climbed over.
It's just like a detachable one. Like the cops have those like sticks that they can like go out. It goes, but it's a giant pole. He just pulls it out, and it goes down like 3 stories.
Okay, we're getting out of hand.
That would be amazing.
Yes, I do think people have been burned by the holidays, and they carry it with them.
Yes.
I guess let's be proactive here.
Okay.
If you hate the holidays,
Yes.
whether it's because family stresses you out or because you were burned by the holidays, what's your advice, like, for that person? Like, what could they do to really,
See, he's chasing the other guy.
like, the guy can wait. You know what I mean?
That guy must hate the holidays.
We're always joking about that, by the way. My brother is a fireman, so I am able to joke about it. Am I?
So, damn, they're really going this morning.
Yeah, they're out.
They're out.
It's all the Prius drivers.
That's
Two
it.
of them just collided.
Yep, one of them brought their cat.
The cat.
Cat's
got in the
driving.
way.
Yeah, the cat's driving.
He then went from 70 to 80, went too quick, rear-ended the Prius in front of him going 60.
The Prius hit a cat and it damaged the Prius.
Yeah, what's advice for those people? Because I feel like it's so sad to think that people are missing out on the holidays. To be stressed out during the happiest time of year.
I think stress comes from living inside of yourself all the time. Like stress, anger, all that stuff. It comes from living inside yourself and living in self-pity. It comes from living in like anything.
I'm going to give this scenario the benefit of the doubt. This is externally caused stress. Like, I experienced this for my first time. Mm-hmm. I love the holidays, and I'm not a very stressed person. But when my birthday was on Thanksgiving this year, and my family's separated, so I've got all these people trying to make plans and get to this person's house, and why are we going to this person's house, and animosity being thrown around. It just stressed me out for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. So it really obviously how you internalize stress is the solution, but the stress was fully externally caused in this regard. I played no part.
Yeah.
So let's assume in this situation, stress is externally caused.
Yeah. So breathe. You have to have self-control. That's where it comes down to.
So you're saying how you process the stress once it's happened.
Yeah. Okay. Is what happens. I mean, you can't because I'm a big believer in
God.
Literally, yes, but you can only, that's a big part of it. It's like you'll find faith in something, you know, like find a way to get through it. Because let's say there's an externally stressful something going on. Why are you trying to control the situation? Like all you have control of is yourself. So it's like, walk away, it sounds simple because it's simple, and a lot of people are like, well, it's family. It's like, well, do you want to just live in the stress and keep bitching? Or do you want to handle the situation? Because you completely destroy the stress of the situation by leaving the situation. Of course, somebody's going to be like, well, why did they just leave? It's like, let them figure that one out. Yeah. That's not your problem. So it's like, leave the situation, come back when it's, and I have my mom and I always used to butt heads like this, where it would be like, we would just get into it because we're both so stubborn. And we both realized at one point that no one's going to win this. Yeah. So it's so funny, if we ever start getting into it, one of us will just kind of get up and walk away. And it's one of those things where you kind of go, oh, and for the first little bit when we used to do this, it was like, where are you going? Like, what's, you're just going to end it? But now we have that realization of oh.
Mutual respect?
It's like that. It's like, oh, it's over. Okay, got it. Calm down.
Do you guys go like this when you walk away from each other? You're backing up and you're like.
It's that walk out, turn around and go. Yeah, just the nod.
Little flinch.
Yeah, then my mom throws something at me.
I mean, what do you... That's another really tough one. And I think everyone in the world deals with this. What? And I don't know. I don't think any of us have the answer to this yet, but let's discuss. What do you think the best solution is when you want something to change in your family, or you want to be understood, or you want someone to understand something, but it's family, and they're stubborn, and you don't want to hurt their feelings? Mm-hmm. What's the solution?
I think you just have to be the change. You have to start with yourself. You have to start with it's not it. I don't like the whole term of be treat people the way you want to be treated. Obviously do that. Yeah. But it's if you want to change a situation, find a way to change the situation by giving the other person or making the other person think that they're getting what they want. And it takes creativity.
Sounds a little manipulative.
It is a little manipulative, but it's it's finding a way to how can I fizzle this entire thing out, make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident that they got what they wanted, but it didn't have to escalate. How can I just de-escalate? And there's no right answer, really. It's kind of you have to get creative with it.
But I don't feel like that solves any problem.
It doesn't solve any problems.
That sounds like the similar situation of walking away where you're just mitigating.
But that's the thing, is you're not solving the problem right there, but because nothing gets handled in an argument. Nothing gets handled when there's stress.
Correct.
So it's letting everything come down.
Yeah.
To bring it back later. So it's let's just calm ourselves down, let's cool our heads down, and then later on when everybody's level, then it's okay, let's kind of bring this back, but let's not let it escalate. Let's tackle it,
I just feel like that concept works in the world, But with family, it's complicated. Like, if there's something that you hate about your relationship with your sibling or your fucking grandma, but bringing it up, you are 100% sure that it would cause issues. What's the solution? Like,
well, I always weigh both odds. I'm like, if I bring this up and we talk about it, does it fix the situation?
yeah. And like, I'm saying in a scenario where most likely it doesn't.
And then I just kind of, because I will be like fully transparent. I'm in this situation with one of my grandparents where it's like everything that I do is a mistake.
Yeah.
Everything that, and it's a very, it's her way of growing up. And unfortunately, I only have one grandparent left, which is sad. And it's unfortunately that this is the grandparent that is how it is. And so I realistically, like, I've tried to, give it the benefit of the doubt. I've tried to, live with it. I've tried to go and be there for them and do everything. And I've realized that every time I'm around them, it's just the most stressful situation. I understand that they're family. I understand that I have to love them, but I refuse to let that negative energy bring me down. And so will I be completely, like, nice when I'm around them? Absolutely. Yeah. Will I be accepting of them? Absolutely. But I understand that this is years and years and years of developed knowledge for them, and I understand that they're not going to change at this point because, they could, but it's been burnt into them for 87 years.
Yeah.
So I just accept it and I just choose not to be around it. And so when there is a situation where I have the choice of being there or not, I will not be there.
I think one thing that's helped me recently is realizing, like, generational differences between parents and grandparents and you. It's like, as you grow older, you cannot mitigate age difference because it always exists. You can further your understanding of each other's knowledge base, of where each other comes from, but you can never get rid of the age gap. Because I've learned that scientifically speaking, you only get to age a year every year. It's a shame, but I wish I could age less.
I wish I could go back.
I know. And so, like, that's something that's really helped me recently, is realizing that, like, when my parents frustrate me, I would say when my grandparents frustrate me, but they're literally the sweetest French people ever, so that's not really the case. Actually, my grandma, she's a hypochondriac, but she gave me that. I called her my bike the other day, and I immediately knew she was going to yell at me for not wearing a helmet. But I told her I'm not going to wear a helmet. But then my grandpa got in some accident where he was in a coma for like 3 months when he was like really young on a bike. So it's a sensitive subject.
It's touchy.
Telling my grandpa I'm not going to wear a helmet, I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm safe, I swear. I know you said that when you were bike. Sidetracked!
It's all good.
No, I really have found, like, I've been able to drop, not in my ego, but, like, become less stubborn in the sense of, like, I'm not going to change somebody who has different beliefs than I do because of where they were raised.
Exactly. And that's why I say, like, I just choose not to put myself in the situation.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cause animosity. I don't want to cause, like, I don't want to have because I'm one of those people where I will walk away.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. I'm happy to walk away from a conversation if it's just escalating. But it's one of those things that when you're with a family member and it's like you just don't have control of the situation and you're just getting beaten down. It's like at one point or another, everybody's going to get to, not everybody, but like stronger people than me, because I'm very weak in those situations, where if you just keep beating me down, or if I'm sitting there and she is beating my mom down or something like that, and I'm very protective.
Yeah.
I will get in it, and it's like
fist fight.
I will beat the hell out of her.
Oh God! Stop.
No, but it's like I'm just like, I cannot take it, and so I just choose not to be in that situation because
it's better outcome.
Exactly, because it's something will be said, and then I will look back and go,
why did I say that?
Not even that, because I will speak my mind and not apologize for it if it's something that needs to be said.
Fair.
But understanding that the things that I say will affect somebody, I have to walk away in that situation, understanding that it's like, okay, there's not going to be a winner. You could feel like you got what you could feel like a winner by getting what you had out, but what's it going to do? It's going to cause more stress on my mom, because now there's that conversation of, why did your son say this to me? It's going to cause all this stuff. So I would rather protect people by just getting up, leaving this conversation, come back to it later.
And that applies to relationships.
Exactly.
I'll end with this in saying the the way that you have the most control over a situation with somebody else, like if you want to control somebody else, it sounds terrible, but hear me out.
I am very in control.
We do get that feeling that we want to be able to control how another person is behaving, right? Like, I want them to behave this way. Is understanding quite the opposite. That, like, the more understanding you have about somebody, that will help you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the more you understand someone, the less you feel inclined to make them change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if I can't change a situation, I can change the way I think about the situation, which will then change the situation.
And like one thing that I started doing that really helped is I slowed down. Because I feel like when you get into it with somebody or you start to like think about stress or there's something like that's happening, it builds so quickly.
It just consumes you and your emotions,
exactly.
and your heart starts just popping.
Exactly. And so like everything just like speeds up, and it's just like anything that's there is just gonna fall out, and you like I call it emotionally throwing up, where it's like everything's building up, you feel like shit, and then you like lash out, and then you feel better immediately. But now you've thrown up on somebody.
You feel better on whose downfall.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so what I've found is like I try to, and I'm not perfect at it by any means, but I'll
You're
try
definitely
to,
not perfect.
No, not even close. But like, I'll try to like slow it down. So it's like, you know, if something's building, I'll take a minute to be like, okay, listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, 2 ears, like.
Which that's perspective, because that takes a lot to even make that, to even have that thought inside of that is tough.
It's very tough, and it's just being like, listen to them.
Yeah.
And I think I've kind of burnt it into me now that when people start to talk, I just go, listen. Like inside my head, it just says listen, and I'll let them get whatever they have to say out. And I try not to interrupt people because I fucking hate that so much. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. But like, I don't think enough of us listen to the other person's problem because you want to solve your own problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of time in listening to the other problem, you can fix your problem. It's like just listen to what they're having, like what they're having an issue with, and then try to help them with theirs. And a lot of times by helping them with their issue, you're gonna fix your issue.
I also think when you're in like a heated debate or argument or whatever it is, I look at it like a fight. You're looking on how to counter every one of their punches. Mm-hmm. You're not understanding why they're punching you. You're figuring out every time they throw a punch how you're going to counter that punch.
Blocking it, yeah.
And how you're going to use that punch against them. Mm-hmm. And to make that a little less confusing, because I'm using fighting, in an argument, I do this. Everyone does this, and I realize it's like you are trying to get your point across the entire time, despite even understanding their point. They're trying to do the same thing. So if you take a moment to actually be what they want you to be, they just want you to understand.
Yeah.
They're trying to get their point across. So if you actually take a moment to stop trying to get your point across, understand what point they're trying to get it across, try to understand it, then once you've leveled with them and said, I actually do understand where you're coming from, or at least I've begun to understand, this is my point.
Yeah.
Rather than you're not listening, you're taking everything they're saying and you're saying, how can I use that against them, or how can I rebuttal that?
Yep.
And as if it's like you're both wasting your breath because no one's actually listening.
Exactly. And I believe in just in understanding, we can wrap this to business really quick. It's understanding communication skills, where hearing somebody else's problem is a lot of times all that the other person wants.
Yeah.
You know, realistically, like all they want to do is get their problem out. That's it. They're not trying to fight. They just want you to hear. Like that's why, like, there's actually statistics that show, like, if somebody's at a restaurant and they're having a problem, they ask for the manager. 99% of the time, the manager just has to come out and listen to the issue.
Yeah.
And the person just goes, I'm hurt. Like, that's it.
They want to understand that the manager also agrees that this is not good.
Exactly. And so as a person in an argument right there, you literally have to just kind of listen to the issue, and don't be the person who has to be all high and mighty when the other person's done and go, you done?
Yeah.
Like, don't be that person. Be the person that hears the problem and just goes, but then you have to level with the person to go, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Like, because that's where listening comes in. You have to build that understanding while they're talking, where even if you don't quite understand it, you have to at least like level, you know, and then just be like, okay, I can see where you're coming from here, but this is my point.
Yeah.
And then if they can't listen to you, then it's a losing battle because now you're just talking to the wind.
Even then, though, at work, it's like, as a manager, There's almost no point. You don't
No.
need to have a point.
No.
There's no point to have a point.
No, just listen.
You're at your job.
Just listen.
You're there for the customer. You are working.
Just listen.
And compartmentalizing the difference between being at work and being at home. Like at home in a relationship, or you're here, it's great to have a point. Have a
Yeah.
point. Because now you need to be understood as well.
Yeah.
At work, you don't need to be understood as well.
But it's like, just listen.
You're there to, you are a piece of the puzzle to work. Now, let's get out of this and get into scenarios because they're my favorite things in the entire world, and I've been
Okay.
really enjoying doing this in the podcast.
Okay.
Scotty,
Yo.
it is announced tomorrow. This is official, worldly, headlining news, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
Christmas is now going to be celebrated on July 25th every year.
They just pushed it back a month?
Yep. July.
Oh, I thought you
July.
said... I'm sorry, I heard January.
Christmas is in summer.
Well, it's
Every year.
Christmas in July.
Yep.
Okay.
But no more Christmas in December. Done. Dead holiday.
Okay.
Christmas is now being celebrated July 25th.
Is there anything that replaces it in December?
No.
It's just another month. It's kind of like September.
Completely changed.
Okay. Great. I mean, it's like...
Great.
What are we going to do? Like, what do I...
Are you still celebrating it?
Yeah. It's Christmas. I mean, it's just different. It's, it flopped.
That's tough, man. We live in Arizona.
Yeah.
I can't go ice skating.
But think about it like this. In Australia right now, it's summer. And they still celebrate Christmas. It's hot in Australia.
Hold the fuck up. Is that true?
Yes, it's hot in Australia right now.
That's a good point you make.
Yeah. It's a hot Christmas in Australia. They have hot Christmas.
I'm looking up Australian Christmas.
Go for it, dude. They have warm Christmas. It's the exact
Australian Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a very good point you make.
It's warm over there.
Christmas tradition.
You go surfing on Christmas. Yeah, no. It's
Shut the fuck up.
It's warm in Australia.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's warm in Australia.
Oh my
right now.
god. Someone's living this scenario.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
In Australia, Christmas comes in towards the beginning of the summer holidays.
When it's winter here, it's summer there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's why people they'll literally chase summer.
Christmas traditions in Australia, 12 things foreigners, me, cannot understand. Dude, it's hot,
Yeah.
but we have trees with snow. This has to be weird for first-time Australian Christmas goers, but we have hot weather, but that doesn't stop us from indulging in all the cultural touchstones of a cold weather celebration. Pine trees with fake snow, fake winter wonderlands in the summer? This is a joke. They go to the beach. We take classic catches in the pool. I don't know what a catch is. I'm not Australian. We leave beer for him? Shit, I'm trying to be Santa in Australia, you know what I'm saying?
Kicking it, bro.
Whoa!
And then think about the exact opposite side of that. Like, in July, they're freezing.
Who?
Australians.
No, it's summer. It's hot there.
July.
Oh, in July,
Yeah.
they're freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just flopped.
Listen, dude, these are things that I love that at 24 it hasn't. I haven't learned once.
I was this many years old.
Because why would that thought have crossed my mind?
Exactly. But they're living your scenario.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so great. I knew these scenarios would be good. All right, next one.
I love how excited you just got with
These
that.
ones are exciting. That's crazy.
That was funny.
All right. The entire world. The entire world
Okay.
is now forced to wear uniforms daily. The fashion industry is dead. You can buy clothes,
Okay.
but you can't wear them when you're out. You can wear them in your house, I guess, but you are required when you leave the house to be in uniform.
Just like a dictatorship.
Correct. It's a big issue. This one's a big issue.
I was
The
gonna say
world's
this
falling
is.
apart.
I was gonna say this is a.
But again, you got no choice. You'll get sniped in the forehead if you leave.
Wearing my uniform.
Exactly.
I mean, it
Fashion's
sucks.
dead.
Fashion's dead.
Do
Yeah.
you still partake in some sort of? Do you have fashion parties at your house?
You have underground fashion.
So they wear their uniform over their fashion. Yeah, it's like a speakeasy, but for fashion.
It's like walking down the street, you see kind of like somebody's got like something sticking out of their shirt. You're like, hey, tuck it.
He's Tommy's doing 10 years. He wore Balenciaga to the grocery.
Oh, don't bring that up right
Sorry,
now.
oh god.
Oh man.
Wrong choice.
Like Karen's fishnets.
You might still do 10 years for that
I was
now.
gonna say, it's like Karen's fishnet stocking sticking out the bottom of her pants.
I love how that was the designer brand stuck in my head
I
right
know.
now.
Wow. Dude, I'm wearing. Yeah, I guess you kind of.
I just killed that whole scenario with the Balenciaga thing.
Yeah.
Sensitive
let's
subject.
move on.
Next one. I got a lot of these. Oh. A baby gets delivered on your doorstep, kind of like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
With a note that says it's yours. First thing you're going to get a DNA test.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go test it. Like, I'm gonna go test to see if it's mine. First of all, if it's not mine,
What do you do? Fire station. Offer up.
Hey, so
what do I put?
I don't know
What's
what
the price on this?
What do I do
What's
with this
market
thing?
value
Yeah.
on a doorstep baby?
You know, I'm gonna go over to Facebook Marketplace really quick, look at ads.
You run an ad. Lost baby. It's like a litter. It's like people selling puppies. Litter of one.
We're about to get
baby.
so canceled.
Oh
for
my
this.
god.
Oh my. Oh yeah.
No, it's a scenario. You can't
no.
cancel for a scenario.
I go get it tested. If it is truly mine, man up. Like that's the thing.
So that's it.
You man up. Well, actually no.
Well, you're right. You do man up.
I'm gonna man up.
I'm gonna raise the fuck out of the baby.
See, that's my other one though. Is if I'm not ready to be a good dad for that baby, and also it's like, whose kid is this? Like, I gotta figure out who the mom is. Like, that's one thing. Is I gotta figure that.
That's a
part
good
out.
first step.
I gotta figure that part out. Just be like, hey, what's this about?
Do you ask?
Like,
do you ask the baby?
hey, who's your
Who's
mom?
your mom?
Hey,
Hey,
kid,
fucking tell
hey,
me.
Who's your mom? Like,
Is
and-
it Stacy?
You've kind of got Bridget's eyes.
Yeah, you figure out who does this still guy look like.
You don't even get the DNA test. The DNA test. You're just like, this is gonna be kind of a fun puzzle.
Yeah, you leave it till the chance. You're like, I'm gonna figure this out
You
by
know,
5.
I'm really stubborn. I'm gonna figure this thing out.
The baby's 3. You're like,
God dang it!
you don't look like anybody. You sure this is mine?
This can't be mine.
Oh, imagine you don't get a DNA test. 5 years later, you're like, you know, motherfucker, I can't. I gotta know.
We're gonna figure out.
And that's not yours.
They dropped it at the porch. They put it on the wrong
the wrong
step.
door is the
Yeah,
next
you're,
house over.
exactly. You're number 3. They left it on 4.
Yeah, I think DNA test, no matter what's first step.
Yeah, 100%. And then just gotta. Realistically, if I'm ready to take care of a kid, kid's mine.
Scotty boy.
Kid's
No
mine.
one's ever ready to take care of a kid.
But no, if it's
Ever.
I don't know. But if it's like if I didn't know, because like there's been 9 months where this kid's been incubating in a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and also this woman just kind of threw it on you.
Mm-hmm. Throw it on you.
Threw it on ya. I want this kid. If it's genuinely my kid, I want this kid to have the best life he possibly can.
Yeah.
If that's not with me, I got to make sure that kid's taken care of somehow, and I got to figure out a way to do that. So finding a family.
It's fair.
Finding a family that can take care of this kid. If I am ready, if my finances are in order and I know that I can give this kid the best life ever, call me daddy.
I'm a dove daddy. Maybe you find someone who can watch the kid for 6 months. You go get your life in order. Because normally you got 9 months to get your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you missed out on the 9 months because you didn't know. That's fair. Now you've got this baby, your child.
I feel like if you've planned it, you got longer than 9 months to get your shit in order. Like, I feel like if you're a parent and you're ready to have a kid, you're not going.
Hopefully you had your life in order before you made the decision.
You're not like, okay, you know what? We're gonna have sex right now,
And
then
then I'm
and then
gonna give my life in
and then
order.
timer starts. We got 9 months.
9 months.
Let's go. Like
9 months is the accidental.
Yeah.
I have 9 months to get my life in order.
exactly. Like I feel like if you're trying to have a kid, there should be like a good year or 2 plan ahead of time. Maybe that's just like. Let's figure this out for let's get everything situated and then 9 months. That's just because 9 months is just bonus time at that point.
Or maybe you choose to have a kid. I don't know. When your wife's ready in order.
Maybe that's a fair
Maybe
point
you're
too.
like, my life's in order. Let's
Yeah.
have a kid.
Yeah, like you know what? Our lives are so great together. Let's bring another one in.
But again, is anyone's life really in order?
No, and you're never gonna be perfect.
But
But,
I
it's
think-
like you gotta. I think my ending point for that is whatever's best for the kid. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. You
Yeah.
know, like we're gonna figure it out. Whatever's best for the kid is that's
Facts, yeah.
that's where I'm gonna aim my gun point. You know, not that.
Whoa!
I'm not putting it down.
Hey, that is a poor example
Yeah.
here.
I'm gonna throw my boomerang.
Oh.
There you go.
And it's gonna come back.
And it's gonna come right back to me.
Oh, fucking A.
Yikes.
That's
Yikes. Hey, look at the bird.
I was gonna say that's a pod, but I like these scenarios. Let's do one
Let's
more.
do one more.
I'm getting through these really quickly. All right. Oh, this one's good.
Ooh.
This one's really good.
Okay.
You've just hit rock bottom
Uh-huh.
with your first business venture
Huh?
at age 25.
Okay.
What? Now, oh, I have a Cane's acid reflux going on.
Dude, last night, holy tits.
My, it was so worth it.
No.
I could have at least 25% more acid reflux, and that's would it'd still be worth it. And
Oh.
then after that, it would no longer be worth
Kiki came home last night, and he was just like, I feel like garbage. And I was like, I do too. And he goes, I don't know why I did that. He goes, I went to Cane's yesterday, had the same experience, and said I was never going to get this again.
it. Okay, he's probably gonna go this week.
I know. Anyway, 25, hit rock bottom in your first business.
As Scotty says, we rebuild.
Yeah, we rebuild. Exactly. That's a story from another day.
It's an inside joke.
That's gonna be another story. But no, it's such an easy concept for me, and it's gonna sound very, very like just right down the barrel. You just restart.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like because your first one when it fucking falls apart, you're like, fuck, man. Like you try to figure out all the ways to keep it afloat,
Yeah.
and you realize really quick that you just need to burn it and start fresh. Like that's the best advice. Like let's put it this way: you need to have mentors in your life.
Mm-hmm.
First thing you need to do if it falls apart, you need to go to your mentor and have them look over it and go, is there a way to save this?
Well, I'm talking in this is a scenario, so I get
Okay.
to make the rules.
Okay.
I make the rules.
Okay.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
In this scenario, you've hit rock.
Yep.
There's no revival.
Yep.
Business failed.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep. Start fresh. You start fresh. I mean, you look back at where you started. You okay? You okay? Ah,
I got pins and needles in my left leg.
gotcha. I mean, you look back at where you started with that one, and you start again. Like that's the only, and that's just how my mind goes. And I can't talk for anybody else because, of course, you're gonna have that grieving period, and you're gonna start thinking and stuff like that. Because I've gone through it.
My business.
You're going to.
I miss my business.
Dude, it's a grieving period. I'm not kidding. It's a grieving period when it happens, especially with your first one where it doesn't work out, and you're trying to fix it. You're trying to be like, what went wrong? Sometimes you just have to go, it went wrong. Let's start over. Okay, I know where it went wrong in this, and then you just have to plan differently. That's it. You have to have a better plan.
I thought I said really good that I think I should do.
Okay.
And I've never done before.
Okay.
I
Go
would
to
say
Australia.
rock
Go
bottom.
to Australia for Christmas.
I think if your business just failed entirely and you hit rock bottom 25, you're young, you should sit down for a couple hours, arguably an entire day, write down a list of everything you learned from everything you can take to the next one. Create yourself a little Bible, a little encyclopedia of information, tangible, that you can read over and over again, that you will now take to the next business as like a tangible version of knowledge.
I would put that, but I would also add into that. Now, in this instance, is now you have that Bible of everything that you did. I would start a journal of everything you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so starting out like...
So you have it already the next time?
So you already have it, so you're journaling the entire time, so as things fuck up, you kind of have it there. And so let's say you do crumble again, you can backtrack and go, oh, I can see something leading into this, where now you have the perspective of sitting from that one side and going, oh, like, I understand where it started to fuck up here. Like, you can see it coming.
Business journaling would be very intelligent. Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of...
If not, you might have just coined it.
I mean, I might have.
I'm sure someone journals
I've never done
But
it.
business journaling would be really smart, especially for creatives, I think.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking now, I'm like, I journal about my life every day. My life's pretty in order. I should probably journal about the one thing that's not in order is my business.
And just, like, see where you're going and see what you're missing out and see, like, maybe what blocks are in your way. And then, like... Because then I feel like once you see your block, you can kind of work your way through it. But I feel like so many of us have these, like, mental blocks that we just don't see.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of trying to find them and fix them, but you can't really fix something you can't find.
I feel like most of my mental blocks are in business and not my life anyway.
Yeah. And I think it's just finding out what the block is.
Business journaling.
Business journaling.
I'll get back to you guys on that. I might begin that.
There it is.
Because life journaling to me... Oh, I usually just journal about how my business isn't doing well. Maybe I should journal about what my business
And then
is
you
doing.
started journaling about business, and you're like, God, my life sucks.
I started business journaling. I should really journal
I should
about my
really
life.
get back to my life journaling.
My business starts firing.
Yeah,
and
and
then
your
my
life just
fucking
starts
sucks.
tanking.
Wow. And then there's just maybe I have to do both.
Yeah, exactly.
Life journal morning, business journal night.
There it
I'm
is.
gonna go journal. I got stuff to do.
Send it.